Hello farmers and welcome back to a chilly February morning in Hinterland. It is currently 28 degrees Fahrenheit and it is time to get farming for the springtime. Just around the corner. Good news is money pretty much stayed the same from December all the way here to February. So yeah, we were starting off with 87,000 to start the day. We are up to 50 sheep and we're starting to get some wool. And we need to bring that over to the production building so we can start making some fabric, which will then, of course, turn into clothing. You may see in the distance, short distance, the oak trees have sprouted on up. Now, I didn't check these in January because I figured, well, it's probably going to take a while. But here we are in February, and I noticed them like, oh, you guys are grown. Wait, can I see how tall these are? I don't know how tall they actually get. I mean, we saw them when we were trying to play some of the construction mod. That's 5 meters, so I'm thinking that might be the first stage of the oak trees, and we'll have to wait and see. As for the cows, well, we got 20 brand new cows here. We're up to 44, and I just fed them this morning. Fed them last evening, fed them yesterday morning. Feed. We're up to 121,000 liters of milk. So a good production from the 22 cows that are currently producing milk. The brand new 20 that we got, they're going to take a while. They're going to take a couple of years before they actually produce milk. But the ones we do have, they are pumping out the milk. We also got a lot of slurry to bring on over and manure to bring over. So we're going to do that first thing this morning just to get the production buildings up and going. And what we're going to be doing today for farming is it's time to plant the cotton. So I didn't want to bore you guys and me going through the crop rotation, but I'll show you pretty much what I was looking for. So this being our second year, mostly, of course, most of the fields were grass. It was meadow grass before we made it into a field. And what I was doing is, okay, like we want to plant cotton, so it's the middle crop that we had last year that I got to figure out for the crop rotation. And basically the best we get is an even. Now, I can get 1.1, but we didn't have a grass field and a fallow field. A fallow field means you didn't grow nothing in the field the previous year. So we didn't have that. But best we get is a 1.0. So it doesn't really matter what field we put it into. Just don't put it into the same field I had cotton last year because that ratio is bad. So I'm thinking we'll just go ahead and maybe put it in the cornfield or something like that. I don't know. But first things second, because, well, I already fed the cows. That was the first thing this morning. And I will admit, now with the cows, since I'm feeding them a lot, I'm not really using the front loader with a fork. So I'm using super strength to pick up the bales and throw it into the mixer because I got to load that thing up like 3 times just to get them. That's like 50% of the food. So, and in the future, yeah, we're going to be going through a lot of TMR. As for the sheep, I have not touched the sheep at all. They're not going to the feed, hardly, very little. But of course, that was with 40 sheep, and now we're up to 50 sheep. Eventually, we'll have 200 sheep, right? So, some winter, we'll have to feed them, I'm sure. But, yeah, they're not getting any grass because the grass isn't growing because it's only February. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, as you can see, we're getting the digestate, slurry. We're bringing the slurry over to the BGA. We'll get that process started. And I'm going to bring it all over. Then we got the manure to bring over. And then we got milk to bring on over to the milking factory. Is that what it's called? This is the milking factory? What is it actually called here? Oh, that's right. Still haven't gotten used to that in 22 to where when you exit into this mode, your vehicle keeps on moving. What is that? Is it just called like the milking? What is it called? Large potato. Just call the dairy. Just got to bring it to the dairy. The milk, that is. And we'll get that process up and started. So you can see there is some frost all around. You can see it on the trees. Definitely off in the distance. So as for the snow in December, got very little snow late January. Nothing accumulated. It snowed. Just didn't accumulate at all. So no snow actually got on the ground itself. I was going around to see if the water froze, and I don't see where the water has. There are a couple maps out there that when you get in the winter, the water does freeze and you can't actually access the water, which is pretty neat, I think. I did look very quickly. I kind of forgot when I logged in today to record this episode of Hinterland about the methane and digestate. I was trying to find a mod quickly, and I didn't really see one. I saw a couple of course, BGAs that will accept methane, but I don't want to put down another BGA. I just want to basically either put it into a production building where we can make it into something else other than, not a BGA, or just sell it. We're not going to get that much money for the methane, so if we go to our stock check, where's methane? Right here. So it says no sell point, but it says we can get $4.49 for it, which is kind of interesting. So that must be like a base price for hard economy. So I'd get like 17 grand for it. Digestate, yeah, we're not going to get much money from that either. But while we're here, let me go ahead and activate the BGA with the slurry. We'll activate that. And while I'm in here, I'm just going to activate the manure now because we will be bringing that on over. And in case I forgot to mention, I did go up after I saw the oak trees have sprouted on up. I went up to see the stone pine, and they have not, which is good because I have not yet been up there with the logging trailer to get the rest of the logs out. I need to do that before those trees sprout on up because it'll be hard to get up there and get the rest of the trees out. So I may do that after I get done recording this episode or before I start recording the next episode, and jump through the month of March. So I was pretty pleased to get through the winter and really not lose any cash. The loan interest, in case you forgot, we're paying somewhere around $32,000 and change to the bank every month. I would like to say get that down below $30,000 before you go and buy anything, but I'm also not going to pass up something. If I'm looking to buy something, it comes up on the sales page. Yeah, we'll definitely have a look at it then as well. But we should make some pretty good money today with the slurry and, of course, the manure. I had a quick check also on the stock page of if there was anything I could sell today worthwhile, and there really wasn't. January was actually a pretty good month to sell stuff, but I decided we'll hold on to it. July, we're waiting for that to come around for the planks. We haven't sold this regular planks yet. And if we look at the planks, clothing, we're going to have a pretty good idea of clothing. I got to get that back up and running. Where's the planks? Planks. Well, we got a lot of stuff here. There's planks long. Planks. Right now we got $160,000 if we sell at the best price. But that's not going to be until July. So, yeah, the money's coming in. The first year, I don't want to say we struggled. It was kind of interesting. Oh, yeah, there's our planter that I got to use later today. That's slowly turning counterclockwise. I don't know why it does that. Don't know. I probably should rehitch that back up and then park the planter the way I originally had it. So maybe being hitched to the tractor itself and then having the concrete beam, maybe it won't spin around. So, yeah, after I park that up today, I'll leave it attached. But then also make sure that the back end is up against something, so I can't turn counterclockwise. There was one comment, I do believe, it said, maybe because it's doing it, we should probably maybe exchange it for something else. We could, but I don't want to do it right away. We just barely got it. Barely, I don't want to say barely used it, but it seems like we barely used it. So we use it this year. Paid a lot of money for it. I mean, I would get a lot of money back. It'd be a matter of, can we stop here? Thank you. Brakes on this Volvo, please. Yeah, we get a lot of money back, and then, of course, I would have to go buy another, decent-sized planter. I say decent-sized. I don't know if I need to go extremely big, like, up in the 20s, meter wide. But maybe in the future, if we start merging fields together and really expand, we'll have to just wait and see. All right, so the next step is I'm going to bring the manure on over. But the grain trailer is actually behind me. This is one of the things. When I need trailers over at the farm, they're over here. And when I need trailers over here, they're at the farm. It's just like a no-win situation. I need like the flatbed, the low boy, to bring the wool on over so we can get that clothing production back up and running. So what I'll probably do, since I'm bringing this trailer back, we'll go ahead and grab the milk tanker. Then we'll grab some milk and come on over. Squeeze in here. Barely make it. I was really surprised about the oak trees already sprouting on up, but not going to complain about that. Alright, I definitely need to move that planter. Drop that off. And like I said, we're going to make butter and cheese. I don't think I think I made butter definitely on No Man's Land because we needed it for making all the good stuff that we're making, like the cake in the bakery, and maybe some other things in another modded production we had going. Cheese, I don't think I made that much of. I think this is where milk is loaded on up. It is. So we're going to have 2 tankers here. While that's doing that, because that's going to take a second, looks like, let's go ahead and grab our planter. Alright, and then let's see here. Can I... trying to find a good way to get out of here without running into stuff. I didn't hit that. Nope, didn't hit that. Good, we're all set. Let's zoom on out of here. And we'll open up the containers here. Let me switch that over. Of course, it would tell me anyways, but... cotton, there we go. Alright, get 1 in the trigger. And I didn't want to get out, I wanted to fill. And that's the fertilizer. Aha! First try. Alright, we'll just park this right here for now. And back over to here. I said back over to here. Alright, we are full of milk. And yeah, I do believe there is a mod, I know some people have mentioned it, that we could get to where the animal production stuff gets automatically distributed to your production buildings. But I prefer to actually bring over tankers. Of course, with the amount of milk that the cows will be making, you may get to a point of saying, wow, they're making so much. I may be making like 4 trips a day at some point. Who knows? And I'm definitely thinking the milk production, the dairy production, probably will be upgrading that at some point because, yeah, it's not going to produce that much butter and cheese right to begin with. So doubling the production, tripling, quadrupling, so on and so forth, may be necessary. If I do remember, the drop-off point is over here. Right? Alright, let's go in and activate the dairy, shall we? Manure. I was like, why are we out of manure? It's because I haven't brought any over yet. Dairy. Oh, that's right. There we go. So butter. Yep, we'll go ahead and activate that. And actually, this only holds 100,000 liters. And activate the cheese, please. If I wanted to upgrade that, how much is it? 77,000. Okay, that won't be today. But we'll go get more milk and we'll top it off at 100,000 liters. But yeah, the way the cows are producing milk, that's going to be the first thing I think we spend money on this year. So actually, you know, we potentially could be doing it beginning of March. With the amount of manure and slurry that we brought over in the BGA, that will probably produce enough electricity to where we can upgrade the dairy probably tomorrow. I mean, don't need to rush it, but yeah, definitely got to get at least one level into that. Let me go get another load of milk. And then I can leave the milk tanker over there, because it's not going to take it all anyways. And then I can grab the grain trailer. Hate saying this, I'm going to fill up with manure. Should leave about 20 some odd thousand liters in the tanker before that is topped off. Right? Yeah. My math is a little bit better tonight. Alright, the grain trailer is over at the BGA from bringing the sugar beet over last fall. And I do have 120,000 liters of sugar beet left. But we're going to keep that for the sheep, not so much, but the chickens. Chickens are not going to require that much sugar beet. Speaking of, got some sugar beet left over. That's good. Let me go ahead and dump that in there. And actually, let me go ahead and sugar beet. And we'll activate that. There we go. Chickens. Am I correct? They take sugar beet somewhere? Yeah, there we go. That's 20% of the moisture food. So, it's a decent amount. Alright, let's go grab some manure and put it into our grain trailer. We wash it off, don't worry. Sometimes. Wash it off. Maybe. Now, even though we did some landscaping on the roads and such, I'm thinking I need to make them a little bit wider in some areas. The more I use the farm, the more I can see the patterns that I'm taking. And more ways to make it a little bit better. But some of the corners, yeah, need to make them a little bit wider. And we got more than a full trailer here, I do believe. Yep. They are producing the manure. It is going to be interesting. You know, we may just only hit 100 cows in this stall before I got to sell some. It may be too much of a chore to take care of 200. But with the amount of manure and slurry and milk these cows are going to produce, yeah, we're gonna chew into that loan really, really quick. I mean, it's still a $10 million loan, but so it's not going to be like overnight. And we still need to buy some stuff. Alright, so there's a full trail of 120,000 liters. We'll cover it up because we'll keep that smell inside. Don't want the village, as we could drive through it, get the smell of manure. They'll probably get some of it. As you can see right here in this corner, got to make this corner a little bit wider because I cut through here. I'm trying to stick to the roads now. In the beginning, we were all over the place. Of course, some areas we don't have roads because we don't own the land. But at some point, we will be able to, you know, adjust with that and fix it because we'll buy more land. And just because we buy land does not mean we will be... Forgot where I was going. Wrong road. Stick to the roads. We may just buy land just to have it, not actually put, you know, fields here and there. We may put more sheds or, who knows, more productions. Oh, another thing I did want to comment, because someone made a comment on another series. They said my mic seems to be a lot of static on it. So I listened to the video that they talked about, and I didn't hear no static at all. So if you do hear static, let me know, because when I edit the video, I don't see it. And I'm not hearing it too much on the video that they commented on. So I was ready to say, manure go here? Yes, manure goes here. So just let me know if, yeah, that you do hear static through the mic. I'll have to look more into that. Yeah, we got a lot of planks in there. Oh, I probably should check on the sawmill. Are we getting full yet? No. We got plenty of room there. We still got more wood to go through. That's good. Oh, storing. Yeah, storing and storing. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we're not going to do sugar and make chocolate. We're not going to do that. All right, so the manure is in there. We'll drop off the trailer here because I need the low boy to go grab the wool and get that over to the spinnery fabric, which then can make some clothing. Which, you know, we got to get that process going really quickly because it's either April. Is it March? March or May? It's one of those two, March or May, and I can't remember. Let's see here. Grain grist, no. Clothing, May. And currently we got $200,000 worth of clothing sitting in there. So the wool production is definitely going to start spiking up pretty quick because remember we just started with this 10 sheep and was slowly with the production over last year we're up to 50. So now instead of just 10 sheep reproducing, we got maybe 20 or possibly 30 sheep now reproducing every once in a while. The chicken coop will probably be putting down maybe after we plant. It's the soybean harvest I gotta kind of go by. But I think we can put down the chicken coop anyways. It's not that expensive. Maybe get 10 chickens. I think I got enough soybean to get through until the harvest time. All right, not much wool here, but you know what? Every little bit counts. Oh, let me go ahead and switch that to what button? Full only? No, we'll take anything. There we go. Always get a little bit nervous when I turn the truck too much with the trailer behind it because sometimes the truck and trailer spaz out. So as for the oak trees, I think we planted them in just about the right spot so far. The limbs are not protruding out into the road at all. And I think we spaced them at a good distance apart. And it'll definitely add some more color and more shade and more character to the map as we continue on. And we got another 220 oak trees or 215 more oak trees to plant if we want to. Oh, gotta be careful when I'm driving here. That stuff could sell if I drive through some triggers. And no, my wool production's over there. Okay. Or the production that needs the wool is over there. Okay, yeah, I need to paint a little bit more in this corner to asphalt. Now, it is rather cold this morning, but I looked at the forecast, and the temperatures this afternoon are going to be up in the 50s. So, typical spring weather. Alright, there we go. So now we're all set, and actually, the low boy should stay over here, because I'm probably going to need it to unload or empty out the sawmill at some point. That is not that smooth around there. That needs to be smoothed out a little bit with the landscaping tool. And I don't need the truck. Actually, I will need the truck because I need it for putting water into the cow barn. So it's time to go back, grab the planter, and go throw the cotton on in. I also probably later on today, maybe we'll finish up this episode, I gotta grab the Case Magnum, and we need to grab our plow. I want to go up to that cotton field, last year's cotton field, and take care of those, that little part where the worker did not plow. I don't want to, because when I go check the field, I'm going to go check like the corner of the field that's nearest to me, where it was plowed. It's going to say no weeds, but there will be weeds at the other end. So I want to make sure I get rid of all the possibility of weeds showing on up. So for a little while, the rest of the day, we'll get some money, some good money from the BGA. The slurry and manure being processed into energy. Also the sugar beet as well. So that'll be good. And actually, you know what? We can probably put the time meter up to ×5. I was keeping it at ×1 because I wanted to show you guys a little bit of frost that we had to start the morning. Hello, ladies. I guess in theory, all animals on Farming Simulator are ladies because they all reproduce. Except for Ronnie the rooster, which we will have a rooster when we go ahead and put down the chicken coop. We don't really need a rooster, but we will have one. Because why not? Right, actually, now we can go through here. I did smooth it out. I wonder if it's nice and smooth going through here now. Is it? It's a little bumpy. Alright, so... the old cornfield, maybe? I guess what I need to figure on out is... because it doesn't really matter which field I do the cotton in, but my other products that we want to plant, I may want to figure out where that is going to be good in. Let's see, we need to do oats. Soybean. Let's see, where's the corn? Corn. Soybean will do good in the cornfield. And oats will do good in the cornfield. So, that's a good rotation to have. Let's see, over here we also had a wheat field. Oats will do good there. Soybean will not do good in a wheat field. A barley field. Does okay in oats. So we'll put the soybeans, let me just double check. We'll put the soybeans in the old cornfield. So we'll put the cotton in one of the old cereal crop fields. So soybean will go in there. And that'll be mainly for the chickens. Got the deer out in the old cornfield. Maybe there's some corn on the ground. And they're nibbling on it. Start unfolding this because it takes a moment or two. But we are going to make some quick work of planting some cotton. And away we go. Now, of course, we are getting rid of the weeds because we're planting, but these weeds are going to grow right on back. But that's okay. We got our weed sprayer, our See and Spot sprayer. We'll take care of it. Planting cotton in February. So we're getting close to the top of the hour. We should make some okay money because it's only been half an hour that the BGA has been processing the 3 products. But as the day goes on, I think we'll probably get up like 200 grand, I think, by the end of the day. But as we already know, $77,000 of that is definitely going to go into the dairy production building. Because our cows are producing roughly about 30,000 liters of milk a day. And at that rate, it's going to keep the milk production going every month. When is the best time? Now that we actually probably got some milk and... I keep saying milk and butter. Cheese and butter. We should be able to see when the best time to sell it. October. Okay, so we got until October. All right, that's going to be good. We'll have a good amount of cheese and butter to bring over to wherever it is that we got to bring it to. Oh, I didn't turn on... Hang on a second. I didn't turn on the clothing, did I? We need to go into batch fabric, which takes 5 cotton and 2 wool into 10 fabric. We need to activate that. And, of course, we need to activate clothing as well. So we got plenty of cotton, as you can see. It's the wool from the sheep that is slowly getting better. Every time I get into an articulated tractor, it takes me a moment to get used to the steering and all that. Yeah, I would hate to have to sell this planter just because it likes to dance in the shed. Expensive as this is, to me it's kind of worth it. I like having the its own tractor. Its own capacity. I'm wondering if this is compatible with other planters. So like if I, download a modded planter, I won't need the tanker because the tractor that we got is already its own tanker for the drill. Planter, whatever you want to call it. So I could trade in this planter that we have and just get another modded planter. I'll have to try that out. Maybe when this upcoming weekend comes, I'll download a planter. Let me guess, there's a little bit of a hill here, right? Interesting. And this tractor does have a good sound to it as well. All right, except for why are we missing spots here? So it's not just the header that we had that misses spots. But this section over here is a little bit hilly that I did not flatten out. Unlike where the cotton field was last year, that was extremely ripply over there, and we flattened that out quite a bit. It does look like a big field. And it is, but making 2 trips around with this planter makes the field look small again. And I kind of missed getting to the top of the hour because we're up to $97,000. So that's a pretty good increase. I kind of missed it, but yeah, it won't be long now. When 10 o'clock rolls around, we should jump up much more than we did the last hour. So now we know soybeans are going to be going in the cornfield. Let's see, I got oats and sugar beet and potatoes to plant. Now we're not going to get the best rotation every year. Sometimes it's just not going to be in the cards for us. So we're just going to do the best that we can. In FS19 for the crop rotation, it gave us more than one category. So, like when I go into here for the crop rotation, no, I said here for the crop rotation, it had a couple of rows so you can kind of plan out your fields, like 3 or 4 fields at once. And I wish that was still a thing, because, you know, you can find out like, oh, this rotation works good. Is this other rotation I want to do, is that going to be okay? And if not, then you can go back and forth to try to figure out your fields. So if they could add a couple more rows there just to plan out what you got to do with all your fields, that'd be great. Of course, the really great thing would be have like a digital sign or something by the field, so you can have like a set plan. Or I could just get out a paper and a pen and write down what the rotation should be. All right, let's see if we miss these little spots again. You can see the planter, how it's curving for the layout of the land. Well, it's getting those, so yeah, that's good. All right, 2 headlands is good enough for me. Look at that little piece there. Yeah, it's a bit of a dip right there. I can see why the planter skipped over it. It's always nice when you have a field full of weeds in your plant and they disappear. It makes the field look so clean. But yeah, they'll be back. And so shall we with a See and Spot sprayer. I think today might be the day where I could really use GPS, because I'm not making straight lines. I'm missing edges here and there. Just having one of those evenings, I suppose. I could blame it on the articulated tractor, but yeah, it's not the tractor's fault. It's the operator. But we are getting close to the top of the hour again, so I want to see how we go from 97. Can we get up over 110,000? That'd be kind of cool if we could do that. I think we might. I mean, we should be able to. How about 120,000? Those cows with their slurry and their manure helping us out here early on. And now with all the production buildings pretty much up and running, or at least once or twice been running, they're starting to pay off as well. And part of me wants to go ahead and upgrade the dairy production already, instead of waiting a month. Not that we really need to. Yeah, I should probably hold off on that, honestly. Just in case something comes up in the store for sale, I don't want to borrow more money to be able to buy something. I mean, the only thing I would really jump at, if like the K's cotton module harvester comes up for sale, like at 50% off. So instead of buying one, which I pretty much said, unless it comes up for sale, probably won't, it'd be just cheaper to lease it once a year, because even after I lease it for 10 years, once a day for 10 years, still cheaper than if we were to buy one. But if it comes up for sale for half off, which I was kind of hoping it would, because we did use one, and people have said, oh yeah, if you lease an item or have something on your farm and you sell it, there's a very good chance within the next year it comes up for sale. And sometimes I've seen that happen to where I have a tractor and I sell it and it comes up for sale. I think the last time it happened to me was on Solyndra when I started with the Fendt 718 and I swapped it out for the Fiat. I think within a month that 718, well, I don't know if it was my 718, but it was a Fendt 718 for sale. I will say the capacity on this planter tractor, because that's where the tank is, the ratio is just about right for it. Unlike some other drills and planters I've used before, you know, sometimes they put like a small capacity on there for either the seed or the fertilizer, and you go through a lot more than one or the other. Now, as for our potato planter, like someone mentioned last time I used it, what I can do for that, because it does have a small tank on the planter for liquid fertilizer, is if I were to buy the tank that goes on the front of the tractor, it would, of course, feed the planter in the back. So, probably will lease one this year, because that's something I've never done, which is have a tanker on the front to feed a drill or a planter behind us. Alright, so we got ourselves a cotton field. I do have a couple of small spots that I missed. And yeah, I'm going to keep the planter attached to the tractor when I park it away. And see if that keeps it from really rotating. But I will have a look to see if a modded planter can be attached to this. So if it continues to be a problem, you can swap it out. Preferably one that I can change the paint job on so it matches. I can't remember. Can I change the color of the tractor itself? Is that tractor going to be under planters, or is that going to be... I forgot how that's going to be listed. Oh, so I got to buy it all as one. I can't... Ooh. So, yeah, it all comes as one. So if I were to switch out the planter, I just can't sell the planter itself. It would also sell this, I suppose? If I go into... Okay, it shows this as separate. Interesting. Oh, wrong category. Aha. So I can sell it separately. Okay, so I can't change the color of the tractor itself. But if I can find a planter, which is going to be kind of difficult to do, that can change color. I don't know, I'll have to wait and see. Have to wait and see. Alright, I think I got enough of the missed pieces. I love how it sounds also when it shuts down. Did I not hit the folding button? Sometimes these take a while. Of course, now I've hit the button multiple times, so now I don't know if it's folding or unfolding. Get the helper HUD up to just know what it's doing. But now it's definitely folding on up. Probably should have done this in the field. So no corn this year, but we will be using this again for when we plant the sugar beet. Sugar beet is mainly planted here for the BGA purposes and a little bit for the animals. But now let's go grab the Case Magnum. We're going to grab the plow, and that job is only going to take us probably about a minute or so. Just got to go across the top of the field. And then we can wrap up the episode. Alright, let's see if we can park this in here so it won't pivot. I mean, it's going to pivot a little bit, the back end will. But we'll leave the tractor on the front end of it, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. Case Magnum, you're getting low on the fuel, but you got plenty for what we're doing. I do gotta park the plow somewhere else, because every time I take it out of here, I can't turn right and then left right away to get out the gate. And it does just barely sneak through here. It feels really, really good to not have to struggle with the flickering winter foliage and the fall foliage anymore. That was like a year-long battle for me. And if for somehow those settings ever change... Well, I did make a video on what settings I had. So if those ever get changed somehow, we can always go back and just reset them, I suppose. Yeah, you can see our... This is a barley field. Still got some frost on it. Probably shouldn't be walking them. They're probably too crisp. Now, these oak trees here... I think once they grow up, they won't be too much of an issue. But one thing I did do in FS19, when I was on Wither Farms, I had some trees like that at the entryway to the farm. And what I did was I didn't cut down the trees. I cut down just some of the limbs of the trees. The low limbs. Okay, I may actually have to make a couple passes here. This one's sure that we don't get weeds at all in this field. And as we drive by our forest area, if you just take a quick look to the left, you'll see that the stone pine trees have not sprouted up at all. And they're a little bit easier to find when winter's here because they have a little bit of frost on the dirt. So those will sprout up eventually, but I need to get up there and get those other logs out of there before they get entangled in those stone pine trees. Although, even though we planted 240 of them up there, I got plenty of room for a lot more. We'll just see if clustering them that close causes any issues for us. I don't think it's going to. Maybe it could be a little problem with the frame rate when we go up there with 240 more trees. But we'll cross that bridge when it arrives. Well, we're getting close to the top of the hour again, so we're at 120,000. Plus a little bit of change. And now we're up to 140,000. Won't be like that all day long. That BGA will process that slurry and manure rather quickly. Actually, while that's folding on up, we'll just take a quick look to see how much is still left. Let's just go... Well, it's already gone through all the sugar beet that we put in there. It wasn't much, but it was still some. The slurry is almost gone all the way through. And the manure, we brought over 120,000. It's down to 44. So Yeah, I'm not going to get up to 200,000 from the BGA, but it'll get us up to 160, I think. Pretty close to it. And that's not that bad. That does give me enough cash to go ahead and upgrade the dairy production in the morning for March. And that'll leave me enough money left over to go ahead and buy seed and fertilizer to get the rest of the fields planted, because in February the only thing we can plant is the cotton. And we are all set there. But the good news is, with 20 more cows now in the cow barn, we'll just get that much more manure and slurry. No milk yet. Got to wait almost 2 years before they produce milk. But we had 24 cows, 44, so we just about doubled the production of manure and slurry. Gotta be a little bit careful bringing the plow in, but it gets in there. I think I'll park the plow closer to this pillar here. Good news is I think the shed is big enough for everything that we're going to have. You would hope so. Alright, the one thing I'm going to do, because the springtime here, we got a lot of planting going on, and the case is going to be on the case of planting everything. So let's go top it off with fuel. Doesn't need any repairs. It's good to go. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing our own fuel. It's not that bad coming on down here and topping off. And really, just adding another production where I have to grow something to produce. If I'm producing something already, like methane, it might be okay to put down a production, like if we take methane and make it into whatever the production building is. Or if a real interesting production building comes along on the Mod Hub, we'll go ahead and give it a try as well. That's not too bad for diesel fuel, honestly. 632. Now the case is all set for planting in March. And that's what we will be doing in the next episode. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in Hinterland. But until then, have a good one.